everybody, and we are live. I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Comics Cast Let It Out with my wonder super duper awesome I'm just gonna say co-host Vic Medina here. Vic, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody.
Sorry, I was like trying to come up with some really cool accolade, to go along with that. But anyway, I just want to say welcome to everybody. Comics Cast Let It Out. What we're about, we showcase indie creators. And that could be publishers, pencilers, inkers, you name it. We want to get eyes on you, and Let It Out is about doing a live talk and draw. I don't want to say draw and talk. Well, I just said it right now. But anyway, we're going to showcase that. And today we have a really great guest, Dee Hausner. I want to make sure I say it correctly. Yeah. He's a phenomenal creator. Had I think it was late last year, had a successful Kickstarter, his first one, and it was tremendously successful. And we're going to showcase him today. So that being said, let's get the ball rolling. Play that bumper.
Starting now.
Okay, that bumper never gets old to me. I just want to say that we had a little bit of a facelift in 2022. We featured the new logo. You can see it up in the upper corner, and Vic was so awesome and put together our new bumper. And it's the same catchy tune, but some new stills, new faces for 2022, and Vic being that new face as well. So I'm going to do the drum roll, and you're going to get our guest of the day in, Mr. Dee Hausner. So here we go. And...
Oh, there he is.
Oh, Dee!
Hey, what's going on?
All right, man. Your camera is
died?
Is died, yeah, because we got the talking icon right now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I wanted to add to the mystery here.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see if we can get that to work. We'll
camera.
Yeah.
Boom.
There he is. Yeah.
For some reason it turned off.
I think you were just trying to cause some mystery, some intrigue, there.
The suspense.
Yeah. Definitely build up the suspense. So I want to welcome you, Dee, and it's Hausner, right? That's the correct way to say it, Dee Hausner. Yep. We're so happy that you could be here on February 20th. This is your day, 2022. Oh, it's great. We heard about you through one of our former guests on the show, Mr. Charles Dopes, and he said, I got this great guy. I want you to meet him. He has a great property, IP, intellectual property, and he wasn't lying. I got to know you a little bit better, and so did Vic, and we're going to do our best to let the world know, let our audience know all about you and your cool IP. So that being said, let me direct everybody's attention to the ticker below. This is how you can follow Dee. Instagram, Twitter, and his website. So like I said, his Kickstarter is already completed, successfully funded. But even though we're going to be talking about it post-success story, there's going to be an opportunity for those of you that want to support Dee and get his awesome Kid Nebula comic book. You're going to have an opportunity just to like and follow him, and he's going to provide details later on when that's available to buy a la carte from his website. So Dee, welcome. So you're on the West Coast, and it was actually kind of fun that you showed your little icon there when your camera wasn't working, because I was like thinking, man, you made me think of like you were based in Hawaii, or you were like this hip surfer guy. I don't know. I just had this impression that you had the Pacific Islander vibe about you.
Well, so. I mean, it's funny, that picture was in Hawaii, so.
Oh, it was. Okay, well then that worked out okay.
Good as testing your geography.
I think you were. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually we're going to pull up some artwork. First, we're going to show some artwork from your. That's from your Kickstarter, and you also sent me some sequentials from your book, because it's close to fulfillment, right? It's like almost ready, like you're just putting the finishing touches on it. Is that correct?
So there's finishing touches, and there's one part I'm redoing. It just, when I read it, it's just didn't flow quite as well as I planned. So but yeah, right in the home stretch.
Yeah. Well, you're like all artists. We're all perfectionists, and I think that's one of those things that. But it is really close to fulfillment, and
yes,
I have to tell you, I just looked at this. This is just incredible artwork. So, let's hear a little bit about yourself. Let's talk about your creative journey. Have you always loved drawing, or did you just what was your starting point, your artist,
tell us your origin story.
Yeah, Vic is gonna say. Vic says let's hear your origin story.
All right, cue the music. No,
I was like, whoa, that's a new one. I'm gonna have to listen to some Cuban music. Yeah, go for it. Let's hear
no, it. So kind of I've always liked drawing. My older brother kind of got me into drawing, and he doesn't remember it, which is kind of funny, but he's like, I don't like drawing, but it's one of my earliest, like, fondest memories of, like, kind of the bonding with my big bro. We'd just kind of be doodling, drawing and stuff like that, and that kind of started it. And then from there, it just kind of, took off, I guess.
I see. So it wasn't like you were just, you came out of the womb with, crying with a pencil in your hand saying, ready, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let me draw. But, we're looking at this.
I bet your brother says he doesn't remember drawing because when you surpassed him, he was like, no, I'm not gonna bother anymore.
That could be it.
Maybe, yeah. It's like, I'm scratching my head. Yeah,
maybe I can't confirm or deny it, but
yeah. So right now we're showing some artwork this is actually artwork that was from the Kickstarter.
From some really awesome creators in their own right that wanted to contribute. So I was kind of blown away. When you're just starting out and you have all these awesome artists wanting to contribute and they're excited about the property, I was just like blown away.
Yeah. Well, when I saw it too, it's like, it's going to be really easy to talk to you and promote your IP because it does have this really cool vibe about it. It has that sort of Saturday morning cartoon. Makes me think of like how this could translate to like easily to like a video game side-scrolling platformer. Vix mentioned, it'd be like great. You could see it on your mobile device, your iPhone, your iPad, your Samsung devices. It's just really, really neat. And it's not just one character; it's a whole cast. The Kid Nebula he has his crew, and we're gonna go into some little details in terms of more of who this crew is. But I just want to go through this. These were deluxe issue covers here, and it's so neat to see other people's interpretations of your characters. It's just,
it never gets old. I love it.
It does. And we were looking at this stuff too. It is a space. It's a cosmic. The name like Kid Nebula. It has to be in outer space. But what I liked about it, it has this. I think everybody used to think space is just blackness with stars and stuff like that. But what I like about this, it has this Guardians of the Galaxy color palette. This really rich vibe. Was that intentional? Did you say, hey, I love the pictures. I love NASA. I love the Hubble telescope pictures. And was that like an inspiration for you? It's like, I want my space palette to be this way.
That definitely was an inspiration, but it also kind of goes in some of my origin story. I lived in Alaska for quite a few years through my childhood, from 3rd grade through high school.
Alaska.
And that's kind of a nod to his team, the Borealis Brigade, for the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, man.
And that always just blew me away as a kid, just checking out the sky and just like there's no pollution there and you see all these crazy colors in the sky. So that really influenced me. I'm like, hey, space isn't that cold and dark. I've seen a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
and
the
then
thing.
You come to California and you're like, where did everything go?
It's like all that smog. Where's that smog? It's blocking out all that great.
I was expecting when it first came out, I was always expecting rain. I was like, oh, it's overcast all the time, but it's like, no, it's just kind of a
well, at least you can take that inspiration from Alaska. I think you're the first creator that we featured from there, and it's nice to know that you can really. This is your origin story, so it's nice how you're weaving this in. Speaking of origin story, we were talking about some of the ideas that you brought into here. We had another guest here who who collaborated with his CEO, which is the his own child. I'm going to say the child executive officer. You had mentioned that creativity runs in the family. There was some inspiration. That I think that you told me that there was this kind of thing that kind of like drove you, the catalyst, to create this book. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I mean, sure, yeah. So there's multiple things. The one of the big things was, my dad has been he's been a big influence my whole life. He was an artist, he was, and that's kind of where I really, after my brother disavowed any knowledge of drawing with me, he my dad, he was into charcoal sketching, but I was always amazed by what he could do. And just recently, time's flying. It's like last year he passed away. And so that kind of just made me, reevaluate and just kind of, I wanted to still find a way to connect with him and his memory. And I decided, now's a good time to do it. So I really started developing Kid Nebula more, with all the characters and the backstory. And then I just said, November's the month to do it. That he'd have turned 90 then. So I just said, it's be a good birthday present to him.
I'm sure that he is smiling down from heaven, because what an excellent tribute. And I think, you mentioned, this Kickstarter was November of 2021. It's your first Kickstarter, your very first Kickstarter, and you were funded. I mean, that's got to be an amazing feeling, because a lot of people, you mentioned that we showed some artwork, not only were there creatives that really wanted to, do interpretations of your characters, but you had several backers that said, you know what, we want to support Dee and his vision as well. And
yes,
we were talking about the importance of family and legacy here. You shared with me a really touching story about how, when we were talking about child executive officers, the CEO, you mentioned that you work with your daughter to like produce things as well. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. So, she's, I've really, we have a really close relationship. I bonded a lot with her over art, because she's really into art, and it just kind of brings me back to when I was a kid and stuff. So it's great. And she's kind of like one of the driving forces. If she gets puts a smile on her face, the art I do, then I'm like, hey, I think I'm going in the right direction. Because
you've got the blessing from the board of the executive board and the CEO. So
because that's kind of the whole journey here, has been trying to reconnect with what got me to love comics and cartoons and things like that. So I'm kind of tapping into that my younger self that's always in there, but she's been great. She's really artistic, and she's also she draws a lot in Procreate like I do. And also she's really good at the video editing. That's like really her strength. So every time I show her some pages or some artwork, she's like, let me see that. And then she can put together these great little teaser trailers for me.
And that being said, I actually want to share this, because unfortunately I just noticed when you play these things, I didn't really, I usually try and download whatever, video trailers and things like that, and that way I can control it. But when you're looking at it through Instagram, it just auto plays. So I wanted just to. So we're gonna pull up. We have a couple of them that we were able to like preview. So here we go. Let me share this, and let me go to add this to the stream, and we're just gonna let it play and then till it repeats. But here we go. So let's check this out. This is a Dee, and what is your daughter's name?
Evelina.
Yeah. Or okay.
Evelina.
Okay, yeah. Dee and Dee's daughter. Yeah, because I know I'm gonna mispronounce it here. Let's check this out. Let me know if you can hear the audio. Okay, I think it's gonna start over pretty soon. I couldn't stop it soon enough.
Has that
Yeah.
the Halo trailer feels like
I
the video
know.
games. It's just like it leaves you right at the end, like, damn, can't wait for that.
I was thinking to myself, it's like Hans Zimmer, look out. I don't know who composed that trailer music, but it fits it. It made it feel epic, and I hate using that word epic, because everything is epic. But this deserves it. It's just really neat, and it was just cool that your daughter was able to take stills, and and move them around. It's like I could, when you were telling me that she has a videographer, cinematographer aspirations. It's like, yeah, she's on the right track. She's already got some really, really cool cinematic eyes, being able to move things around. So,
sure.
Yeah. And
how old is she?
Yeah.
She's 10.
10?
She's 10?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel woefully inadequate. It's like, I think I was still drawing on the, I was still drawing on like a note paper and, like copying like little panels out of comic books. Meanwhile, your daughter is like producing like these trailers. But we have a second trailer here. So let me stop this.
Yeah, I always tell her, I go, you'll be the showrunner if this ever happens. Right?
It's gonna happen. There's gonna be a video game. There's gonna be an animated series. They're gonna be all over the place. So let me get the second one ready to go. We can share that. And let's add this to the stream. And I'm gonna play the audio. Okay, here we go. This is the beginning. It does have a Halo vibe to it. Oh my gosh. It's like, we were just talking on Friday Freestyle about these epic trailers from these Doctor Strange and Rings of Power, and I'm gonna say Kid Nebula. You gotta get on that train too. So let me get rid of this. Let's bring her. So I'm going to bring up some more art that you shared with me, and these are actually some art that you shared with me that are actually pages from or sequentials that we're going to be seeing if you support and buy the book. But before we get into that, let's talk about the cast of characters here. So you were so happy, so nice to include this for me because you called it the Borealis Brigade, and let's just go through this. Let's hear a little bit. If you were going to talk about introducing these characters to new people, about let's going too fast. Let's give a little bit of a little one-liner to go, or a couple lines to talk about these this cast. And you can start with Kid Nebula in the center, and then just sort of go around.
Sure.
Now we have
sure. So Kid Nebula is the main protagonist, but it really is an ensemble story and a team for sure. And he has a lot of lineage. So his grandpa and great grandpa were the ones that it was kind of like the wild frontier. They started the Borealis Brigade. They had the idea of it for it. Mm-hmm. And he's just trying to carry on the legacy, even though now he's trying to bring not really to its glory, but to the idea that there's this one group of galaxy defenders that basically come together from all planets, all races, species, and they join to fight for a common good. And so he still believes in it, and he's trying to convince the rest of the galaxy too as well.
That's a big galaxy to convince, but so let's keep on going. Just pick any character here, and let's hear a little bit about him.
Sure. So his best friend is the huge robot behind him running. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they don't stop all of a sudden, because he might not be able to slow down fast enough. But so he's G18NT is like his robot identifier. But when Kid Nebula saw him as a really little kid, he just saw that on his I think it was on the back, his label, and he thought it said giant, so he calls him Giant Robot.
I like that.
And he's been he's kind of like doesn't, he's not a huge talker, but he's more of a doer, and he is their best friend. So he'll follow him to the ends of the galaxy pretty much to do whatever. And he's been around, so he can kind of tell him some history because he knew the grandparents and all that.
So he's kind of like the pseudo parental figure that can kind of like a legacy to or a connection to the old guard to the new guard, right? And he's just a really, because I want to say that even as big as he is here, that's actually not to scale. It's like he's I think if we were to do this to scale, you would just see his foot right behind them.
Yeah,
that's how big he is. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I was like, how am I going to put this all on one screen?
Well, what you can do is you can show the foot and then write that label that he saw, the G18-NT, and then people would say, "Oh, I get it. That's what he saw. He saw his foot. It was a label on his foot, and that's why he saw Giant." Yeah, but yeah, let's keep on. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like this was kind of talked about earlier. Was big influence of him was Iron Giant.
Yes.
I love that movie. Like right behind me here, and I love that movie. I mean, I can watch that over and over. That just so well done, and just.
I'm with you. That was a masterpiece, and it just had. It definitely had a impact on me. Of course, I didn't make my own comic book like you, but it's just a really, really, really cool IP. If you had to pick something to inspire you, that was definitely a really cool one. But yeah, let's keep on going. Like pick another character here.
So then, moving to the Lilbot. So he's just kind of like this. He can kind of be annoying, but he really, and he wears so he's kind of like the comic relief. He always tries to be heroic, and it gets him into trouble because he's trying to say, I can do what giant robot can do, but you find out quickly he can't. Yeah, in a little version. And he has a kind of like this jetpack in the back that he kind of made it look like a red cape. So he can, because like he wants to be a hero, so he wears like this kind of red cape jetpack. And so he's hoping to have his moment to shine. And then to the right of him is Aura Ren with the lightsaber-like staff, I guess. And she's probably like the non-robot closest friend of Kid Nebula's, where she really is. She's not so sure yet about the everything about the Borealis Brigade, but she believes in him, and she saw it firsthand what he did to help her on her homeworld. So she decided to follow him.
Yeah. I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to be trying to get as much information out of Dee, but I don't want Dee to like give any spoilers away. So if you want to say, if you want to say. That's the name of the character, and that's all you need to know.
Like moving forward, moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Feel free to do that, and Vic, chime in if you want to, like, pick his brain about anything here. But I guess let's. Oh yeah, go ahead, Vic.
Oh no! I was saying
okay.
I already know Lilbot's going to be his big. When he gets his toy line, that's going to be the one. That's going to be.
That's going to be the superstar. Because you're gonna have to I think Giant is gonna have to be a super Build-A-Figure.
Yes.
Where you're gonna have to gonna have to buy all of the brigade, and you're gonna get a little piece of the of Giant to complete it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Vic called it. There's gonna be a toy line. But let's go diagonally up here. Let's talk a little bit about Green. I think you mentioned that Green has a little bit of a has a little bit of an input from the CEO, your daughter. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So that character originally, she it wasn't part of the main or part of the cast really. I was thinking of some supporting cast and all that, and then she just kind of sketched really quickly. How about something like this as Aura Ren's friend? And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go with it. And the big thing about her is her weapon. So that's really a trigger point for her, and it's because it looks like this big hammer, and every time someone calls it a hammer, she kind of goes off the deep end and goes, it's a square-faced mace, and she loses it. So one thing I showed which really, since that, it's just, I won't really go too much in her past, but the funny part, one of the things is, someone had to say it, and she's about to leave the room, so she stops and then,
turns around and go, get it right.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's really close with Oren, and you'll find out more about their relation, like how they know each other and everything like that.
Okay, so that's enough reason to make sure that you support issue 2, so you can find out that cool relationship between Aura and Green. But let's go ahead and just work our way. I guess we're going West Eastern style. We're going from right to left. So let's talk about Auric. Who is Auric?
Auric Zarmanger. He's a character. So he's a botanist by trade, but an explorer at heart. So the thing I'll tell about him is his homeworld has the atmospheric composition is very rare and unique. So really no one really leaves, or very few leave his homeworld and live to tell about it. So he created the suit, and through his I guess like his how he knows how the plants and things like that, he was able to synthesize like his own kind of breathable air in his suit. So let's just hope that nothing happens with that.
Well, that helmet is laser proof. It's space vacuum proof. It's like I
just hope it's not like the indestructible truck's windshield from Tesla, where they just
yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when he's like, but Eddie, we're not promoting Tesla. We're promoting Dee. So you can go watch that a little later on. But these have all really cool, interesting backstories. Let's keep on going down there. So right next to that, I guess we'll go to the top. Stella Verreau.
Stella Verreau. Yes. Not much known about her. So she's what you do know is she's a really good shot. She's a sniper. And you just don't know how she knows Kid Nebula, but you can tell that they've been through some battles together. So yeah, and I just thought, like, I feel bad for her. She's carrying like the largest weapon, and right behind her is giant robot running. So it's like...
it's okay. She doesn't have a complex. She can say, you know what? I don't need to compensate for this big giant that's behind me. It's like I can snipe somebody from like light years away or something like that. I have no idea, but sounds like a really cool character. So let's talk about we have Kid Nebula, and now we have Red Nebula, and he was the banner that we created for our Facebook page. Because you had this really cool, like, really extreme foreshortening where he's like coming at you and his fist is like, out there. And you said origins unknown. So is he somebody that you can't really like, it's like hush hush, you can't really talk about him?
Yeah, I can say he's kind of like the man of mystery. You really don't know a lot about him, but when he shows up, you usually know that something's happening. Something big's gonna happen.
He's like the ace that you pull out, like when all things are going wrong, Red Nebula shows up. And
and then when you see him and you don't realize something's going wrong, you're like, oh no.
You know what? That's kind of like, I'm not going to say that I'm Red Nebula, but when I walk into the room, into my sister's place, and I see my nieces, they go, uh-oh. It's Tito Bad Idea. They don't really say. They say Uncle Bad Idea. They don't say Red Nebula. He's cool. They just say, he's gonna bring some non-parental approved behavior into the house. But anyway, we're gonna keep on going. So these two characters, I just really like the names. Because they have this, because they have alliteration. We have the Kaiju Commando. I love the name. Let's just talk about it. Let's hear about it.
The last two are really kind of like favorites. I get a lot of fan art from those two characters, and they were so fun to just kind of come up with and design. So Kaiju Commando, he's kind of like the hero that the kids in this world would kind of look up to. Like they had posters on their wall and stuff, and no one really knows if he's real or not.
He's like mythological almost in terms
and all they know is like from the shows and all the stories that people tell about him. Where there's a kaiju, he's gonna be there to help protect the people, and he can kind of sense the kaiju, like where the things light up when the kaiju is really close. So he knows that it's kind of like his spidey senses. And people are always wondering, like, how's he going to fight these massive things with a laser whip and like other things? But he has some tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, and those tricks, you got to buy the book to find them out as well.
Yes,
exactly.
And I like how he's like.
We have one comment. Let me pop this up real quick. I love a good team, well described. Totally agree. We got one more. Hold on. We'll hear about this one right now. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, this last character's name.
Okay.
Jarrell.
Is it Mock Botner? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So there's somebody here who is talking about, Red Nebula equals Racer X. He could tell you, but then he'd have to kill you because it's top secret. But I like how Red Nebula and Kaiju Commando have this, you have the red and you have the blue. So, it's kind of like, and they have this kind of like spectral glow about them. So not reading too much into that. I don't know if that's intentional or maybe it's going to be, but it's just pretty neat to see that these are all just really cool character designs. And I just wanted to get to the last one, which is next to Kid Nebula. I have to say that, and Auric. Actually, all these characters just are awesome. But Kai Kilrath, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, the Simian Space Samurai.
When I told you it was going to be a lot of alliteration, you got it right here. So let's hear about this character because he just looks so interesting.
Yeah, so he's kind of like, from my influences of, all those cool samurai type shows, and then also Westerns, because he kind of has that vibe. But he was just basically left for dead on a planet not his own. That's kind of like one of the trading cards I have of him. And
trading cards.
And like his his family taken away from him. So then it's just like he has to find his way, and all he has is like a little bit of an idea of who did this to him. So that's basically his singleness of purpose there, to either rescue or avenge his family and try to regain what is his.
That's the tragic backstory that he's like the Wolverine on the team, right? Kind of has that. And I totally get it. I'm a Cyclops guy, so I think Cyclops is more like Kid Nebula, but I can say that Kai Kilrath is that Wolverine.
No, but people are gonna like Kid Nebula. People don't like Cyclops. That's the thing. Nobody likes Cyclops. That's why they wrote him out of the movie.
All right, Vic and I totally we've had discussions. You can tell Dee that we've had discussions about this before, and I'm gonna say Cyclops doesn't get enough love. Kid Nebula should get the love. The Borealis Brigade, they're gonna put. This is going to be the next level X-Men team or X-Men / Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just so fun. I look at these things and to our audience, just look at these. I mean, if you can't see an animated series, video game, toys, spin-offs, it's like refrigerator magnets and little bobbleheads and things like that. I don't know what it is. I mean, these are just really brilliantly designed characters, and the color palettes, and what I like about it too, it does have a kid appeal to it, but as an adult, Vic and I were like just geeking out. We were like, we would definitely buy toys, of these figures. It's like, so just really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of this artwork that you sent to me, because I want to say that this isn't stuff that people have seen, because the stuff that most people have seen is the stuff from the Kickstarter, the graphics that you shared there. So the stuff that you sent me, these PDFs were not on there. So I'm gonna have to say, this is a little bit of Comics Cast exclusive stuff. So, so here we go. We got this. So here's Red Nebula. Again, just really cool cosmic backgrounds here. I was definitely making. It's like he's like even better than the Silver Surfer. He doesn't need a surfboard. Right. It's just really cool.
Exactly.
Here's your kaijus are like, I want to say, are they like robotic kaijus, or are they like monsters, aliens in like armor, or? So
there's a mix. There's the kind of robotic armored kaiju, and then there are some of more of the traditional kind of ones. don't know if I sent you one, but I didn't want to flood you with them. But yeah, there's definitely one of more of like the traditional as well. So I kind of do a crossover.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny when we say the traditional kaiju, like kaiju
Yeah.
or traditional. It's like if I saw like a 100-story like monster, oh, that's a traditional one. Not the I've seen more crazy ones. This is a character, Grizzly Monroe. Is he like a legacy like part of the Borealis Brigade, or is he like going to be a character that comes later on, or?
Well, I'll just say at least the first part. Yes, he's part of the legacy.
Okay, it's a secret.
But, yeah.
Okay, we'll keep on going there. But he has a really cool design as well. Here we get to see the Kaiju Commando with his really cool weapons that you talked about.
Yeah, and he's I was really blown away by like I did a kind of a draw this in your style contest. And man, I was just blown away by how many people jumped on this. I was like, wow, they really connect with this character. So I was like, okay.
I get the impression he's like the Captain America kind of guy on the team. He's very, he said he's like elevated to like mythological status, and he does have this, look about him. I think this was kind of like an homage to like the Teen Titans Go.
This one right here was my favorite. I like this one. I love Teen Titans Go, so I was like, oh yeah.
So I did this. I'm like, I wanted to make my daughter smile that day. I was like, surprise, and she loves it. So I was like,
yeah, I ate this up too. I'm with Vic in terms of this because I'm a big fan of that cartoon as well, and all of its iterations. It has. And
you just notice that you still have Kai Kilrath not smiling. That's like you did a happy show.
Yeah, he's like he's kind of like Raven, Yeah. Yes. That's the world is ending. Yes. She's just. But he's the Wolverine guy. He's cool under pressure. Yeah, and I think this was maybe a still that was also used in the Instagram video that your daughter designed. But I like how you took the splash page and you made it into like panels. That's why I look at this and it would translate to a storyboard for an animated sequence because you could show how you wanted to like frame it so that way you would build it. I was looking at this like, oh, that's like a Star Wars like opening scene with a spaceship.
Yeah, there's so much movement in just the two panels.
Yeah, it's I think on the surface, people will think, "Oh, this is a kid's comic," and I'm like, you would be mistaken. There's a lot of it is a kid's comic, but I think you can definitely appreciate it for its cinematic sensibilities and just neat. I just and the colors they're like icing on top of a really great cake. It's just really really good. And here we go. Not afraid to break out of the panels. Like I said, this is something that. Again, would be great for a storyboard. And I don't know, was that your intention? Like when you were building this book, did you like say, hey, were you thinking, I think a lot of creators, when they're doing their sequentials, they kind of think if this was a movie, how to move the camera. But when I look at yours, they look like storyboards in a sense. I mean, is that something that you intentionally did?
Kind of the approach I took just because I was like, got all these scenes in my head and I'm like, okay, let's just try to get them down. And then, it was also kind of, even after I've read like ungodly number of comics, like creating your own comic, I was like, how am I going to approach this? So yeah, I was like, how am I going to, making your own comic is like such, I mean, it's like going through the gauntlet. I was always tell like fellow creators, it's like way more work than people probably realize. And even I realized of like, oh, so kind of the flow and everything. So I kind of said, let me take an approach like kind of like storyboards. Try to make it cinematic and start from there. And that's kind of what I kind of gravitated towards.
Yeah. I think we got a comment here. Vic, you want to pop that up? Yeah. We got David Whalen from Correct Handed Comics. He says, love the bold colors and slick designs. We couldn't agree with you more. It's brilliant. And, let's keep on going here. And see, this is what I was talking about. I mean, I think that some people would be very dismissive and they say, hey, it's kind of simple and it's simple good. I like how you can create the silhouette. That's when you come up with good character designs or good characters, it's like being able to recognize a good silhouette, being able to set up the setting so that it's recognizable, it's powerful, and you got this nice rim lighting here, and alien architecture, and it has a narrative. You're like wondering who this guy is that's on this alien landscape with this great moon. So did you take classes to learn like color theory and composition, or is this something that's just innate in you?
Well, I mean, it's probably like I haven't taken any classes. Kind of wish I would. I'd probably save me a lot of time, but it's like they say, it's all about the journey, and and I kind of just actually, the more I worked on this comic, the more I kind of I learned, and also I realized what I like, like when I draw and stuff, and like you mentioned the silhouettes, and that's that approach with character design is like one of my favorite. I love doing that. Like even starting before, like if you saw some of my live draws, sometimes I'll just start with blobs.
We're gonna see it today.
And people are like, if they, I always say like, hang in there. It's not just gonna end up like this. And then I chisel away, and but the silhouette is very key for me. And then this, I really, I like showing just enough, and not, sometimes. And that was the thing that was overwhelming for me, the details, like super detail, like, because I really like that in comics, but then for me, I'm like, I have to do kind of what I feel is my my palette, or my my
Your
approach, my strengths, because I think I would have probably jumped out a window if I try to do that like fully. I mean, I still like detail, but this I like where it kind of tells a story without showing every single thing that's going on.
It works. It's your style, and I think that's one of the things too, is that you can appreciate hyper realism and super uber detail for other artists, but you embrace your style. This is Dee, and this is what Dee likes, and I have like tremendous respect for Vic's as an artist as well. And Vic, you want to comment on, like, because Vic is a phenomenal colorist as well, and when I saw this piece, just because it's like bisected. We have the again, it's red space. And then you have like kind of like the night, the cool blue space. Yeah. You want to talk a little bit? What are your thoughts when you saw this?
This one makes me upset because I have trouble doing silhouettes. So I don't know. I struggle with silhouettes, but I do. So looking at this one, I was like, "Damn, that's a good cover. I like that." But no, the color, the use of color, it makes your book pop. Like this catches your eye. It looks fantastic. I love the way you use the cools and the warms to make him pop out there. And it looks like, let me zoom in on mine here.
Oh, you want me to zoom in?
It looks like, on him. Yeah, the way you use like the blue on him. So he's not he's not completely in black. You can still see the character. Yes. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I tried it.
And Dee is always aware of branding too, because even though he's a silhouette, you can see the kid Nebula like insignia. It's like, and Vic was so right about this in terms of just it's a silhouette, but he's not like the same dark color as the as the object that he's standing on too. So really just cool, and you have this nice all the buildings look alien, and they're contrasted. It's like everything feels very organic. Like even your coloring style is you see a lot of diffuse light. There's some softness to it. So again, I think that this, the reason why when I looked at it looked like to me, there's like video games that kind of like try and do this style, and it's like it would easily work for that because you can take this kind of animated style and translate it to a video game, because the sprites and these, you don't even have to be very crazy about doing like some sort of Final Fantasy level, hyper realistic thing. You could just do this style, and it would work.
Hold on a second. We need to get to this comment real quick.
Oh yeah.
Can we still order the issue through the Kickstarter, Dee?
So unfortunately, the Kickstarter ended, and they don't have that thing like Indiegogo has, where the
on demand.
Yeah,
okay.
But the good news is that once I fulfill this, it should be next month. I should be mailing everything out to all the backers, because I should be getting it back, and I'm sure everyone keeps saying there's gonna be a couple rounds, me sending it back to the printers and stuff this month. But then after that, I'll just follow me on my socials, and then also if you sign up the newsletter on kidnebulacomic.com, I'll let everyone know in there, the store's up or where you can buy it. So I've gotten a lot of inquiries about that because there's so many things going on. Like, it's like, I didn't even know your Kickstarter was, you always get those emails.
I know. I was looking at your stuff. I was like going, oh my gosh, it's over. It's like, we can't even support it. But that's the hint, is that it's going to be, I don't know, maybe you might want to consider doing an on-demand with Indiegogo as well.
I was going to talk to you guys about that because I've heard about that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
That you can port over and stuff like that.
You easily can. A lot of our creators that have been on the show have done something similar to that. But let's get fulfillment for the guys, the guys and gals that were true believers and got in November. We're gonna get the buzz going along so that way we can support that. Let's keep on going here. So we have this, and this gives you more of an example of the scale between Giant and Kid Nebula. So he's quite a big character relative to the other ones. I think that's the thing. When I look at like storyboards or even movies, when the directors frame a shot, and obviously comic book format is vertical, but when you go widescreen, and you can really get a sense of scale, of grandeur, and every we just showed a few shots here, and you get the feeling like it's cosmic in proportion. It just feels very, very large. Like this is a large universe that you're playing in, and the colors are so rich. And here we go. I mean, this is like Vic. Did you get Eternals vibe here? Like it was like that was a massive celestial or something like that. That was like
except I want to see this. And
so first it was Cyclops and now it's Eternals, but
Eternals is a beautiful movie. But,
yeah, I'm gonna agree with Vic on there. It's like beautiful, well shot movie. The cast was really good. Just not I would just say it's not my most favorite of the MCU universe. But here we get into some more sequentials, and these are more traditional. It's not like that big shot where you kind of like frame, frame a larger like splash page, which is really successful. But this, again, it seems simple on the surface, but it tells a really good story. I even like how, you don't have to show Kid Nebula's face like in panel 2. You just see the glow from it. But then when you switch the camera and now he's responding, then you can see that emotion, in there as well. So just really great. And I like this landscape, this establishing shot. Again, Vic, I know you're gonna hate it because he's doing those silhouettes. So he doesn't have to go into crazy detail for this background, but it's enough to your readers fill in the blanks to make it work. Oh, and this shot, poor little bot. I don't know what happened to him, but Kid Nebula is saving the day, and I don't know if that's Little Shop of Horrors Kaiju at the bottom, or maybe those spice worms from Dune. I don't know what.
It's kind of a combo of those.
Real quick, just for anybody that's watching that we're interested in his book, like Stan said it in our comments. We just put the kidnebulacomic.com. Just copy and paste that once we're done. Go to his page, sign up for his newsletter, everything on there. So that way, when it comes out with his reissues, you guys can pick them all up.
Yeah, good FYI, because I want people to know that as well. And here it's like this is like a homage to, I think that was Iwo Jima. It has that thing to it, and it's. I think this is a great way. We were talking with like our other guests that are like who have comics that are geared towards getting kids like introduced to reading and creativity and things like that. It's hard to not see a kid these days being glued to their mobile device or their tablet. But I think it's really cool to see this because this is like a good gateway to get them to like reading more and maybe exploring creativity so that they're not just told how to be creative. They're going to be creative, come up with something. Right. And this actually has a historical context. You can kind of say, hey, what did this, what inspired me to do this particular shot? And you can kind of like talk about the courage and bravery of veterans that fought during the war. And it's kind of neat. I was looking at this stuff, man, such emotional impact here. So was there a reason for this particular composition? Did you say?
Well, one, I wanted to, kind of a nod to the, like you're saying, the emotional aspect of the gravity of what's happening around them, or what just happened. And also kind of just like the historical thing about since my dad was a veteran and everything, he wasn't there or anything, but he was a veteran and he served. So I just kind of also want to do that, just to kind of give a salute to all the veterans out there that risked their lives.
Great way to pay tribute. Yeah. Fantastic.
I'm like, I liked the book before, but every time you give me a little bit of insight in terms of like why you did certain things, like, man, I'm like loving it even more. Just really good insight. So I think, Vic, you want to, do we have that little video to sort of say that, this is going to be the 2-minute warning? We're going to get ready to get we're going to wrap up these things, and we're going to go into like a heads up to do our live drawing that's coming up pretty soon.
Okay. So she's start stretching out.
Oh yeah. We don't have those anymore. Once we made our new logo, we.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to give.
That was our 2-minute warning right there.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say you have a 2-minute warning now. We're going to be wrapping this up, and we're going to be getting to see some magic from Dee and Vic, and I'm going to try and bring up the rear and like do some artwork that compares to those guys. But I just love this too. I mean, geez. This is what I was talking about, scale and magnitude. You really just get this idea of how big these kaiju are without doing like extreme foreshortening. You're doing it with silhouettes, and I don't know if this is going to be a comic cover, because you have that space at the top where you can obviously put titles and trade dressing, but that actually adds to like the scale when you have openness at the top. And the colors, I don't know. Maybe I have to call BS on that. You didn't take any courses on color theory, because I love how you've just really, maybe you've been studying comics for so long that you've absorbed color theory through osmosis. You just you're doing that. So we have this more alien architecture, the kaiju, and we have Kid Nebula there. And then we go to these cool blues again, and this was the artwork that we used for the banner to promote.
It's also the. I don't know if you can see the shirt I've got on here.
Oh, see? Marketing.
Nice.
Marketing right there. So
I had a t-shirt contest, so giveaway. So that was
that was the one that was selected. Yeah, that looks really, really good. And I love these effects that you put on there. There's the man himself, the Simian Samurai. Kill rap. I mean,
Kill rap.
The kill rap is just there's just such a. It's like, who would have thought of putting those two words together and make it a last name? Just really, really neat. This was a very powerful image to me. I'm gonna throw this back to Vic. Vic, what did you? Oops, let me go to this. What was your impression of this? I really wanted to use this.
I get like Star Wars vibes from this one, like early, like a lot of the early concept art that they did with the original movies. This reminds me of like Empire Strikes Back. When they're in the carbonite room, I believe.
Yes.
Like this is the vibe. This is the, you get like all those red sparks and everything popping up. This is what I get from this one.
Vic, you read my mind.
I really like this one.
That was my favorite Star Wars movie. Empire.
Yeah. There you go. That's right.
Of course.
I was gonna say because the other shot before that, I got the same kind of vibes from it. I got like a Star Wars vibe from it. Him standing in the middle. That one, one standing in the middle, surrounded by, all these bad guys looking onto him. I got a big Star Wars vibe from that one too. Back when the Star Wars was good.
There's still some hope. There has been some bright spots in the Disney era of Star Wars, but
yeah, you could definitely see your influence. Like
this reminded me.
You look at the work,
It reminded me not only of that Empire Strikes Back, but there was a really cool video game that came out, and it was actually in between the prequel and before the sequel trilogy, but it was before Disney era. Did you guys ever play that game, The Force Unleashed? Where they explored what was his name, Starkiller, and of course that's all legends now, but it kind of had that vibe to it as well. And when I looked at this, I'm going to show you more of my geekiness here. I looked at this and I got it had the Empire Strikes Back vibe to it, but it also made me think of George Perez with the Crisis on Infinite Earths, with the famous cover of Superman holding Supergirl. Yeah. But the other thing that got me is it reminded me of Tron. I don't know if any of you watched the 80s Tron, even but even the 2000 version of Tron, really good. Loved it a lot. And this kind of had that too. And there's lots of drama. It's like, I'm like, what happened to Aura? I hope she's not like dead. And gotta buy the book to find out. So but let's keep on going here. So we have this.
Here's more of the traditional, I guess. Kind of traditional, but it's like he's not. Doesn't have any armor or anything. Just has tentacles and a horn.
Yeah, that is a really cool.
Now is that? He's holding up the giant robot right there, letting you know how massive.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you notice who he's holding there?
So this kaiju is on another scale. I mean, if he's holding, giant at that, and that just lets you know how big he is here. So I think this particular Kid Nebula cover. Again, this was what were your thoughts on this? This is a little bit different from some of the other artwork that you showed.
So I kind of went back to the I just kind of got inspired by the really old like pulp sci-fi,
Flash Gordon and things like that. Yeah.
So then I said, okay, I want to just do one like that. This was kind of like a promo print that I did, but it so it just kind of gave me that vibe. It's I like that stuff too. The Flash Gordon stuff. It's kind of showing all my influences. I kind of.
Hey, you're the creator. You can do whatever you want. You can throw in My Little Pony if you want to.
Well, if you look in the back, no, just kidding.
I was already go. Don't kick. I was just making a joke. Is My Little Pony in there? Yeah. I was gonna, to all of our Brony fans that are part of our audience. See if you can do Where's Waldo. Find the My Little Pony that's in here. But yeah, this is really cool. Like that. And this is our last one before we go into the live draw. So Vic, I think he's just rubbing it in here now. He's just showing more silhouettes. Yeah. But really good. Just the not only did you do the silhouettes, the color theory again. Everything just pops because it's
green.
Yeah, because every time I try to attempt to do any type of coloring, you see it. I think Dee can attest to this. It's like you read comic books and you see like movies and the excellent use of color, but then when you're doing it yourself, it's like, wow, it's much harder when you have to think about it.
And the thing too is, if he didn't like know how to use his colors, this wouldn't work.
Yes,
because it wouldn't pop. You wouldn't be drawing your eye to these characters with color, because when you see it, it's just silhouettes. But the color really makes it pop. It makes you like look at these characters and see like, okay, something's about to go down. So that's what's awesome about the way he used color in this one.
Yeah, it sets an atmospheric as well as there's a tone and mood that you're establishing here. But yeah. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the live drawing here. So hopefully everybody, if you're not sold on it, we're going to sell you on it even more now because we're going to do the live drawing.
I brought this. I popped this up, but let's see. See, he's awesome with the color.
We couldn't agree. Yeah, we agree. We agree. We don't have to take a vote on that. That is just so cool. So again, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and add our art cam. So Dee, I think we dropped your art cam. It might have timed out. So go ahead and connect that.
Okay.
And let us.
You want to bring up a picture of who?
You know what? I got getting ahead of myself. Got so excited here. So let me go back to the Kickstarter and see. Well, we're getting his camera set up. Let me show who our first drawing is going to be of. And that is none other than the main protagonist of Kid Nebula. Kid Nebula! Surprise, surprise! So here we have, and while we're doing this, Dee, just get ready to talk a little bit more about his design. We can. I'm sure that I'm going to let Vic maybe helm some of the questioning while we're drawing, but just things to think about, like his look. If you want to talk about his legacy, it's like, what is then that pistol? Like, what kind of is it shoot? Is it just shoot lasers, or is it something more to it? anyway, those are just things to think about. But if you're going to draw along with us, please do screen capture right now. And just let us know in the comments field that you are drawing along with us, and then post it to the art show, which is our sister page on Facebook, and we will pull it up. So just we want people to show their own interpretations of Kid Nebula. If he resonates with you, like if this whole Kid Nebula comic book, the Borealis Brigade, if you're feeling it, please draw along with us. We want to share it with Dee, and you can get thoughts back, from the creator himself. So let me put this into the background. And were you able to get your art cam up there? Dee?
Can you see it? Oh,
hit share. Yep, and we'll get it on there.
That's the thing. That's the one thing I forgot. I was trying to get a head start in drawing.
You don't need a head start. I need a head start.
Let me see. Share screen. Okay. And see, then I should get back to the screen here. You see a blob?
Yep. Let's go. All right, so you get to learn all the secrets about what Dee does. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start the clock. Actually, I'm just gonna look at the clock right now. You have a timer?
Here we go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Vic is gonna be our timekeeper as well. He's gonna draw. So we're gonna basically just sort of leave it on right now. Dee's. The clock is ticking right now, but we'll leave it mostly on Dee's. And then later on, we'll show what Vic and I did. And of course, if anybody in the audience wants to draw along, let us know. We'll show that as well. So Vic, you want to kick off our first question while we're drawing?
There we go. Start drawing. All right. You have such a fascinating backstory of how you created these characters on this comic. Are they based on anybody? Like, Kid Nebula, is he based on anyone in particular in your life, or was it just somebody you came up with?
I think I probably brought in aspects of different people in my life. And really Kid Nebula, the character, I also so I take aspects from different people I know, and I don't want to embarrass them if they're watching this later.
Oh, they'd be honored. They'd be honored if they found out they were inspired. But keep on going.
But he's kind of a nod to the shows I liked growing up, like the cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons, and also even of before my time, kid with a jetpack, where he's not so much a kid, he's like a younger adult, but he's he's got the jetpack and everything like that. So that's kind of the influence. I wanted to kind of bring it to the kind of more of a nostalgic vibe to that. But I definitely have
the space rocketeer.
Yeah, exactly. And so I know if people that are really into hard science, they might be some of the things how does this work? But I'm just go along for the ride. I try to not go too crazy into it, so I don't put box myself into a corner.
Yeah, I want to know where the flux capacitor is and the warp drive is. Let me know, because if it doesn't operate on the force, then it doesn't exist to me. So you don't need to do it. You're the creator. It's your universe. So
how does this work? It just does.
It just does. Exactly.
Let's see here.
So are you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, sorry to interrupt that. When you see the silhouette thing, I started using this because a lot of times when you're sitting in front of you see this white screen in front of you, or a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, and you're like, where do I start? And you're not sure. And this really helped me get over that hurdle, that I can just start doing shapes that are coming to my head of maybe this action, this, and then that really helped me kind of get through that barrier, break through that barrier sometimes when I feel like I don't know what to draw.
Yeah, good advice. I think that I'm still one of those guys who gets creative block right there. And I think that's kind of neat. I've seen that technique. What you're talking about is where, and I think it's good, because I think what some artists get wrapped up in is they want to go ahead and start doing the detail. They want to jump in and start, rendering right away. But what happens is you put all that effort into it, and then you realize, oh, I should have shifted it over this way, or I should have done this. And then by you doing a blob or messing around with the general shape of it, you can frame your composition first before so that way it becomes a more powerful illustration, because you've composed it better. And I think that's a good tip, I think, for a lot of artists to kind of like consider when they're drawing.
Yeah.
You don't want to jump right in right away like that.
Yeah, Vic is a big proponent of, you were talking about when you gave the 2-minute warning is like, warming up and stretching. So Vic is a very big proponent of like doing warm-ups before getting into like a big composition.
Otherwise it's just for me anyways, it's a mess. I've seen guys that could just jump in and be like, look how amazing this is right away. I'm not one of those.
Me either.
I don't do amazing.
Yeah, that's on my portfolio. Gerald does not do amazing. Dee does amazing. Vic does amazing.
So tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter. I know you're fully funded.
Yeah. So
what was your state once you saw that? Like, this is your first one. I mean, you had to be like top of the world, knowing that this is gonna happen now.
I was kind of blown away. So I kept questioning myself before I hit the button. Like, should I do this? What am I doing? And then I said, let's do it. And I pressed the button. I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? But to be honest, like what kept me going were the like Scooter sketches, who's in here. Like, I have a lot of creators, good friends of mine in the community that been supporting me the whole way and encouraging me. And then I did a live, and this is another thing I recommend, a live launch party on Instagram. So I streamed that, and I brought in people. I thought I was going to bring in people, but no one wanted to join right away. But they're all there commenting, but they just want to get on camera, I guess. So I was just talking and stuff, and it went really well. Like that first hour or so, I mean, I was just like, oh wow, it kind of could just kind of breathe finally, exhale.
Yeah.
But it was so nerve-wracking. It still is, because I'm until everyone gets the comic and then I see their reaction to it, I'm trying to put everything I can into it. And so that adds that extra level of stress and pressure. Yeah, because you're trying to do the best you can to make sure that everyone gets their money's worth and more, and then just live up to everyone's. But then one of the sorry about this ramble, but like one of the creators that really kind of helped me refocus, several actually told me, but saying like, you have to first do a comic that you want to read yourself, and not get in your head so much of like, what should I do that everyone's going to really just like? And so they go, if they can feel the energy and the excitement that you are when you're drawing and creating it, then that's what they're going to vibe off. So that really helped me center myself in that.
That is good. That is good advice.
Yeah. Have that passion project. Because I mean, you're doing it yourself. You're driving yourself to finish this comic, and if you're not feeling it, it might not get done.
Right.
You might just sit there being like, why am I doing this?
Well, I think if you get
to something like you're doing yourself, like I'm trying to get Gerald to create his own comic, but he's not falling for it.
Eventually, I have this imposter syndrome, and I think that's secretly why I'm doing all these things with Let It Out, because I want to constantly be inspired by guys and girls that are actually making it happen. It's gonna eventually I will get past that complex that I have. But it's so cool to see this because you're talking about just getting it done, jumping in head first. You have all this hesitation and apprehension, but then you just hit, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it to honor my father. I'm going to hit the go live button and make sure the Kickstarter is there. And I think it's got to be some sort of affirmation to say that, hey, I did it and it worked. People, you said you did your launch party. If I did a launch party, I think maybe Vic would show up and he would just sort of say, "Hey, you're doing it all wrong, Jero." It's like I don't know if anybody would like actually show up for it, but I think what happened with UT, it's like I didn't get a chance to see that whole launch, but it sounds like you had like tons of supporters like right there. They all believed in you.
It was overwhelming. So I'm like, oh, I can talk comics and stuff. But then once I started seeing the numbers come in and all the support, I was like, there's probably like this awkward dead air. I was so blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, this is amazing, and I still am blown away by it,
Yeah, because you shattered your goal.
Yeah.
It's well above what you were hoping to get. So that's gotta be a tremendous feeling.
Oh it's amazing. But then that's where the other part, the self-doubt kicked in. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it definitely is like an emotional roller coaster for sure.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. Like, so you want to talk about let's talk a little bit the story about the Kickstarter. So was it something that did you get funded within like, was it down to the wire, or was it like did you get funded I did
so it was pretty crazy. It was like I didn't go since I was I did the basically I didn't have to pay like colorist or artist or letterer, which I kind of wish now I got help out, but so I was kind of like a
one man
shop. Way,
yeah.
I mean, like I had great creators, like even like Scooter, he did these great stickers from my campaign and all those covers and posters from other people, which was great. But like from the book, I had to do it all. So I said, I'm gonna go low and just because my goal is like I just want to see this thing
happen,
get printed. So then I did that, and I think it funded within like 10 minutes.
What?
And I was just like, that's why I was just saying, like, I was like, there's just like this awkward silence for a while. I was just like
10 minutes. That's a great story.
It was like 10, 12 minutes, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got to 1,000. I was like, oh, and people in the live kept saying, checking it and doing the updates. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that was just like, it was crazy because it was just kind of like, for me, it's kind of like drinking from a fire hose at that point. Like, I don't know what to say or do. I was like, I had no words, it was like.
So you got funded during the live stream, right?
Yes. And that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I was inspired by some other creators that did the live launch parties, like, Jason Farros with the Convictor. There's a bunch of Dennis Valencia and with his one that came out, the Celestial Night, and I was all inspired by them. And then Dan Price with Bigfoot Knows Karate, all these great creators and their properties. They did lives, and I'm like, oh, this is really. I like the energy, and it makes you feel like you're not so alone, right? When you hit the button, and then you get people to say like, oh, I'll be there, I'll show up. So that really helped. I think that really that really helped me, and I recommend it really to everyone that asks me about my campaign. I recommend, I'm like, you gotta think about doing something like that, even though it is kind of scary because you're like, what if it's just me talking to myself, whatever. But you'll be surprised, like, or not really surprised, but you'll be relieved that you're like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of people say I'll be there, and they'll show up, So it's definitely a great experience because then you feel like it's like a team effort. It feels really cool. Like everyone's all excited and totally into it. Like, when you hit the numbers and stuff. So it was a really cool feeling to share with everyone.
That is a tremendous, awesome story. Cause I think I would have been speechless too. It's like, cause you almost think the launch parties, I'm hoping I get, at least one backer or something like that. But then when you get funded within 10 minutes, oh, wow. That's just, I would be speechless too. I'd be like, what just happened? So.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. And then, some of the tiers, I was surprised, they always told me do like some really high level tier that just is an aspirational thing just to have it. And I said, okay, I'll do one. And that one I did like 5 slots of that one. Cause I always thought it'd be cool to do it. And I've seen some others do variations of it. Like, you actually put a character that one of the backer that does that tier, their character will be in the comic. And and that, so I was like, I'm gonna try that, but I limited it because someone told me you got to put a limit because someone went too crazy and they had like so many. So I said, okay, I did 5, and they got that night. They, during the live, they basically were all taken.
What? Oh my gosh!
So I guess, was like, I was just like blown away. And that was like towards the end. I was on, the live kind of, like I was saying, the awkward, it dragged on for like 2-3 hours because everyone just wanted to hang out, and it was really cool. But by the end, they, those 5 slots were
gone.
And then the extra anxiety came in, like, oh, now I have to do their character justice. Me being like the insecure artist type. I think that just kind of goes, but yeah, it's really exciting, and that's the thing that's kind of where I have to redo a few parts, because I want to make sure that those sequences that I've got mapped out, and that I want to make sure that they'll be happy with it and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I don't think you have to worry too much about it, because I think that when they bought it, they know your style. They know that they know what you're capable of, and you just got to just relax and say, hey, they believed in me, they supported me, they trust me to do them justice. And so I think that will probably maybe take some stress off your shoulders when you just realize, I just got to do what they liked, and you'll be fine. Oh my, I just can't believe that story being funded within 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's insane. I mean, it's amazing. That's awesome. When we do our Kickstarters, we're gonna have to come to you. Like, what'd you do? Tell us what you did.
Yeah, I know. I think Dee's gonna have to write a book of like how to run a successful Kickstarter, because that's what he did.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I have to definitely credit to some of the other creators that had their launch like a month or 2 months before mine. That really helped inspire me, of like, I could kind of see what I liked from theirs and what really worked, and I think that would work with mine and stuff, and that's kind of what I did. So it really helps, just kind of seeing how other people are approaching it, and then you put your spin on it.
Yeah, good advice.
Since I'm a newbie, I definitely need to lean in on that, just because there's a lot of things I probably wouldn't even think of.
Well, now you're no longer a newbie, you're a veteran, experienced, has a successful Kickstarter. I mean, that's just amazing, getting funded within 10 minutes of launching the campaign.
We have 1 more minute.
1 more minute. Okay.
I'm kind of behind here.
I'm resisting
me too.
I'm resisting the urge to look. Let's see. So I was like joking around. I said, do you, or I was just thinking when we were talking, when Vic asked you that question about Kid Nebula, like, is he supposed to look like, or, be somebody that you knew? And I almost was like, oh, well, he's me, or he's my younger self or whatever. Or maybe he's my brother. It's like, the brother that taught you how to draw, but didn't, or, inspired you to draw, but doesn't claim that he did. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. I thought, maybe there's some sort of deep psychological thing that's like you have a suppressed memory, like where that came from. But, I have to say that he does kind of have a resemblance to you. If we took off the helmet, I think he would look like Dee.
Now that your Kickstarter was so successful, is your brother coming back now being like, yeah,
it was all me. It was all me.
You remember that?
Yeah, it's like, make sure you credit me for that. Oh yeah, he actually wanted to do the tier. So there's a character that we always talked about doing, and so I'm going to add it to the book for him. So so that's kind of fun. So he's looking forward to that. I showed him, just what I try to do is I give like show some people, or show them like, okay, this is kind of what it's going to look like, but I don't tell them the scene that they're going to be in, so to keep it all a mystery until they get the comic. But
that's a way to like lead them on, and then you tell them, oh, and you're in the death scene. You get.
Well, I joke. So my brother, there's something like my brother that we went, we biked to the theater to see that 1980s Transformer movie. We're all excited, and let's just say it was like the quietest bike ride home. I was just like, what just happened? Like, everyone I like died.
Oh, Optimus Prime, what happened? Yeah.
So we were like, so I always joke, I'm like, don't worry, I'll do it honor like the Transformers movie. And he's like, oh my god, my character's gonna die.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right, guys, minutes up.
Minute is
down.
Up. All right.
Okay.
Man, I didn't get. Let's I'm gonna solo you out, D, and then you can kind of zoom in here. Oh, I can see what you're going with it. Let me solo you. We're gonna go to full screen. Can you zoom in and we can kind of look at that a little bit closer?
Yeah. So
yeah,
I just work through my steps here. Like I've got the chunks of silhouette, and then more detail here, and then yeah, you can kind of see where I'm going to go with this. And I'll definitely send it or post it wherever you want me when I finish it up today.
Yeah. We always encourage our guests to go ahead and take it to whatever level that you'd like, because we want to follow up. And like anybody that didn't watch the show, they're going to have an opportunity. We're gonna post it, and that way people can kind of get intrigued by it and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll check out that the show and maybe get you some more fans just by checking out some of the artwork. But I can see it's kind of neat what you were talking about in terms of just coming up with that blob and then you're chiseling away. That's a good way to. It's like I think of like was it Michelangelo when he did the statue of David? It's like it's a big slab of marble, and he can see, he knows what's underneath it. He's just like subtracting things, and it's kind of like what you're doing too. You put that blob down there, and you just keep on chiseling away, and it comes up with a form. So by all means, take us to that level and share that with us. That'd be really cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let me minimize that. I didn't. Did anybody in the comments feel Vic say anything about?
Yeah, we have some. Oh,
okay.
I'm bringing them up right now.
Okay, cool.
Oh, let me stop sharing because I can't, for some reason, I can't see anything.
Oh, you can't? Okay, yeah, go. There you go. All right. So that way you can see.
Yeah, definitely was curious about what everyone's got.
Oh, and I guess I should get my art cam shared too. Hold on one second. Go ahead and
bring it in here. Let's see here. Sarah always coming through with awesome drawings.
Oh yes, love Sarah's artwork.
Oh, nice.
There's Sarah's.
Cool.
Kid Nebula.
That looks cool.
I like the way he looks like he's flying, jumping, like taking that shot. He's got that nice action pose.
It's John Woo.
Yeah, you need some doves and
that's his space doves. She needs doves with helmets on, the big
space doves. Yeah,
I love it. That's cool.
It looks really cool.
Awesome work, Sarah.
Let's go ahead and show yours, Vic. Well, I haven't actually added my art cam. So I'm excited to see.
I was too busy listening, so I didn't completely finish. I was gonna go with this.
That looks awesome, man.
Look at that.
But
very cool.
Yeah. That looks great.
I'll probably work on it later and be like, I got to finish this one.
It has a nice cosmic. You mentioned the Rocketeer. It has that cosmic Rocketeer look to it. So.
Yeah. Except his backpack looks like it's exploded because I didn't get to dry it.
Yeah, his backpack is on fire. That is jetpack.
All right, let's bring in Jarrell's here.
All right, so I had it. So he's sort of like he's about ready to get eaten.
Yeah.
So I had to go in there and like tighten up the lines, but I got the composition down there. But I don't know if you can see the teeth that are there, and there's like multi-tongue tentacles. I don't know what it is. He's not ready. It's like that little when we showed that image of him rescuing little robot from the Little Shop of Horrors Kaiju at the bottom. So I was inspired by that. So I want to go in there and tighten this up too. It was fun.
Awesome.
To draw that. All right. So just a note to our audience: if you weren't able to finish, if you wanted to participate in this and you didn't finish, you can just let us know in the comments field and just post it to the art show, and we'll show that a little later on. But we're going to keep on moving. Let's get to the next drawing challenge, which is affectionately known as the co-host challenge, and we're going to try something a little new. We've been trying out the draw the line challenge from a couple shows that premiered this year. So Vic is going to surprise me. I have and Dee, of course. I don't know what it's
actually
about.
It probably won't be that big of a surprise because yesterday you were like, I don't like doing those, and I was like, that's the one we're going to do. But he already knows what we're doing.
No, we're doing it. Okay, well, go ahead.
So
go ahead, Vic.
This co-host challenge is called On the Other Hand.
Oh, yes.
Draw the non-dominant hand So
I had a feeling that was going to happen when he said it. When he said, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
I thought I had some
So
influence
same
on
character.
Vic.
We want to see you guys draw the same character. We're going to draw Kid Nebula again, but this time with your non-dominant hand. Yeah. So I guess I should switch glove. My glove to the other hand.
Yeah, I know. I need to do that too.
Oh, look at you guys.
It just feels weird now.
I'm going to just tell you that actually I've been drawing with my non-dominant hand this whole time. So really my right hand is my it doesn't okay, you don't believe me. I know. All right. Okay, so let's
well, actually I'm just if we're going to do that, I'm just going to do this then. Let's see. I will just there we go. I drew my there we go. Done and done.
They're done. Okay. All right. Joking aside, I hate it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my left hand. I'm gonna draw with the left hand. So, Dee, if you want to add your camera back in there, and let's so it's
actually, you know what? Let's just stay like this. Let's see the magic at the end. We'll see what
you want to do it that way?
Everybody came up with. Yeah, we'll just chat for. I'll put 15 minutes on the clock. We'll chat a little bit.
I can't believe I'm doing this with a left hand.
We'll see the awesomeness. Oh yeah, Drew, leave your camera on. I'm gonna be watching to make sure.
Oh, you're gonna watch me? Okay. You're gonna watch me.
Make sure you're not cheating.
You're gonna watch me. I'm like staying honest. Okay. All right. So
all right.
Let me actually
starting.
Go ahead and start it. I'm gonna add to stream since we're not showing our cams. I'm going to add to stream. Oops. This is me getting. Oh no! I didn't want to show this. I was gonna say I'm gonna show the character, and this is me making sure. So I don't want to be accused of cheating, but I want to give our audience an opportunity to see Kid Nebula. Let me.
Yeah, we can leave them on there.
Yeah, we'll leave them on there. All right, so here it is. Share. You just trust me that I'm drawing with my left hand. All right, so here's Kid Nebula. Oh my gosh, I think I'm probably just going to do...
Anybody else not even know how to hold the pencil with their opposite hand?
That is me. It feels alien to me. But you know what? I think that Dee probably he predicted this, so he was probably practicing all day to try and figure out how to draw with his non-dominant hand. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I can't even
I'm rethinking this now.
It's like, my lines were wonky already, and it's going to be even wonkier. That's such a word. With my left hand.
Dee, I'm gonna tell you right now, I like your character a lot. So when you see this, I apologize now for the injustice I'm going to do to your character.
Oh gosh. So, what hand are you? Right-handed or left-handed, Dee?
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed. Okay.
That's what he says now.
Yeah.
Drawing with my right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, this is awful.
Well, at least with you guys with Procreate, don't you have like this? Isn't there something in the software that allows you to stabilize your line so that that way it doesn't look as wonky?
Oh, well then let me do that then.
I think there is. Oh, I gave you a cheat code. I gave you the cheat code.
Usually I try to ink. Like I'll try to take my stuff into inking, but that's not going to happen today.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that is happening today.
Yeah, this is interesting.
This is looking horrible.
I don't even know how to position my hand to like.
I know because
angles.
Yeah, I can't even because I can't even see. Oh. All right,
you'd have to go little kid style, when you just hold the pencil like in a fist in your hand.
Yeah, I think so. So. All right, I'm making a decision.
So, Dee, now that you have like you got your successful Kickstarter, it's all been fulfilled. Are you already thinking about what's coming next? Do you have that all planned out, or are you still on the high of this first one and you're like, I'm gonna have to get to that eventually?
So, it's kind of both. So this is going to be like a three book arc.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had to cut back what I was going to put in the first book. So I'm like, this is going to be too insane. So I had to space it out a little more. So I already kind of have some of the main points of the second book mapped out, and planning on, as soon as this is fulfilled to really jump in that. I've already kind of worked a little bit on some of the concepts and some of the character designs that are going to be in the new one.
Mm-hmm.
But
is it going to have even more characters? Because
I was going to say, just when you get comfortable with like this huge, no, there's going to be a lot of the same ones.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I don't pull a Transformers 1980 on you.
Oh, another reason to get the book. You know, just when we started connecting with the characters, Dee goes and says, and that's the last time we saw Kaiju Commando. He got eaten.
No, it'd have to be Kid Nebula, and then they replace them with like
Kid Nebula's little
sister. I can't remember the name of who they replaced Optimus Prime with.
Well, I had two. It was Ultra Magnus was the first one,
and he was Rodimus, right?
Yeah, and then it was
Rodimus. There you go.
Yeah, it was Hot Rod first, and then he opened the matrix of leadership and became Rodimus. But yeah, speaking of that, I totally agree with you. It's like I was traumatized that opening sequence because I loved the character Prowl, the police car Autobot, and he got axed there at the beginning too. There was so much destruction at the very beginning.
It was just.
What was funny too is you see that old cartoon and you're just like, oh my gosh, they killed everybody I love, and then you watch the new movies, the Michael Bay one where he kills all of them, and you're just like,
I don't care.
Yeah, I know exactly.
All right, who was that died? It was a robot. I don't know who it was, but it was a robot.
I think that's a thing too, because I understand that Michael Bay was trying to put a modern spin on things, but they became this mishmash of just crazy detailed mechanical parts, and you couldn't really identify with them. They did have more complex faces, I guess, where they could emote more, but for some reason the old style, you saw when Optimus Prime passed away, he didn't even have a mouth, he just had that face shield. He was able to emote much more than the Michael Bay Transformers. But I could be a total how your parents and your grandparents are. It's back when we were growing up, our stuff was much better, blah blah blah. And we think anything that's afterwards.
I do that now.
Yeah. So
I'm old already. I'm like, oh, it's so much better.
Get
off my lawn, kids.
Yeah. So Dee, are you doing your kids justice and making sure that they watch all the cartoons that you grew up with? Are you making sure that they get a healthy dose of 80s nostalgia?
Oh yeah, for sure. And even though it was a little later than that, but I for sure said, okay, Iron Giant, we're watching it. Luckily they all like that one.
Okay, good.
The 80s nostalgia, they love those things too. So it's great. I'm like, yes.
You raised them well.
But to me, it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of bittersweet that kids, because there's so much content and it's on demand, everything is there. There's not that magic of that Saturday morning cartoons where you had to make it. If not, Monday at school, you're going to feel like you're totally left out of the party.
Oh, that's me. I would, because the best cartoons, I grew up in a really rural area, and the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Land of the Lost, all those things were shown at 7 a.m. So I don't know how many I missed. And I'd go to school the next day and be like, spoilers. Everybody would just tell me, and you had to wait till the next, till the season was done when they do reruns before that. This generation is so spoiled by, what they have at their fingertips. I mean, you could go to YouTube and watch everything that we had to wait patiently to watch back in the 80s. So.
Oh yeah, and then I remember my brother would get these bootleg things from Ultraman and all these things that we didn't see yet. They don't even understand what's a VHS. We had to find these.
Yes.
Get these bootleg, and then
you mean I got to insert a tape somewhere? I got to hit play. It's
rewind. They can't just skip to. But yeah, it's So yeah, that's he used to love watching. I guess it's named a bunch of things, but Gotcha Man or Battle of the Planets.
Yeah,
that was his big kind cartoon that he really liked that got me into it, and Ultraman and things like that. Those other shows.
Yeah, totally dig that. And another big thing was, well, here in America, it was known as Robotech, but it was
loved Robotech.
It was Macross. Is that what it was called? Macross in Japan, and of course, I didn't grow up on Power Rangers, but Power Rangers had its own name in Japan as well. But
well, just because you got older didn't mean you had to stop watching the cartoons.
Well, that's true. I mean, but I didn't get because I like the original ones that I grew up with. I didn't really get into the whole Power Rangers thing. But same with like Pokemon.
I did. I was already older and I still got into Power Rangers. I remember I had a friend whose mom worked at, was like a manager at Toys R Us, and I went over to their house one day and she had 3 Green Rangers with his. I forgot what his Zord was, but she had him in the box because she had got him for her nephews, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm about to get adopted by this family right
now." So, Dee, were you a Power Rangers guy? Did you like Power Rangers?
Yes, but not as enthusiastically as the other things I grew up on. I did like it just because it's kind of hard not to, right? Because it's got those cool things, but. Yeah, I mean, I really loved, all those. Maybe now they're seen as cheesy, but like all those, like Space Ghost, Herculoids.
Oh shoot, Hanna-Barbera. The Hanna-Barbera era.
Alex Toth thing and like Thundar the Barbarian. And...
Shoot. Yeah.
Artist says yes, and TV broadcasts would end at 12. Yeah, you had to get them in. You had to get in your cartoon watching because either older brothers, parents would come in and steal the TV, and then you were done.
That's right. Oh man!
As a kid, you learned to be like, "You guys want me to bring you a breakfast in bed?
Stay away from the TV." Yes.
Yeah. We got another exciting episode of G.I. Joe coming up. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So many memories when you're talking about that. I remember sitting in front of the TV. It's like you just grab a box of cereal, no milk, just have the box of cereal in front of you, and it's like popcorn. You're just eating the dry cereal while you're watching watching whatever cartoons are on.
Well, those are the funny ones because just like, you have to like kind of plan out how much liquid you drink. So I can't, this commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like
pausing or anything.
You're right. There was, and when you could like program your VCR, that kind of helped a little bit, but. Yeah. I know that
until you erase something important.
Yeah, right. So that's true. It's like you only got that one videotape, and it's like if somebody would accidentally copy over it. You're like, no, that was like episode.
Like
that was the whole season.
My dad wiped it like with taping like a boxing match or Jeopardy or something. I was like, no.
What did you do? Yeah, instead of Mike Tyson, it's Alex Trebek.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
It's like the scene in the movie Signs when all the aliens are coming down in there. The little boy says, we need to document this because I'm going to use your tape. And the little girl's, oh, no, not my tape that has our cartoons on it. And she's like, no, Uncle, I'm going to use your tape. And all it says is like swimsuit issue on it. That was his.
I totally forgot about that scene. How much time do we have, Vic? You know?
We have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. This is so hard. I'm going to have to practice drawing with my left hand, knowing that Vic is going to do this to me again, another time.
No, I'll probably wait just to surprise you again. So When you're not practicing no more, I'm going to be like...
Exactly. And you know what? It'll be when Dee comes on again, and I'm going to be prepared because I'm going to go ahead and say it. Dee, you're going to be our guest when issue 2 drops.
Awesome.
Because that way so cool. We'll be part of your launch party. We will have you, on the show, and we're gonna. Not that you need our help, because oh my gosh, who gets funded within 10 minutes? I mean, that's just crazy story right there.
But now the pressure of the follow up, right? Because I know a lot of, but I try not to. I just go, let's just keep going with it. But it gets a little stressful.
Hey man, just don't. I mean, I just do be BD. That sounds like a Star Wars droid. BD. the Dee that you were when keep that whole excitement. I remember when I was when I was learning graphic design, because I didn't have the courage to like pursue like comic art or traditional illustration. I decided to go to graphic design. But one of my mentors, when I was designing stuff, and I was going on my first the first printed piece that I did, I had to go on a press inspection, and I got to see the proof. And she said something to me. She goes, how do you feel? And I was like, oh man, this is so awesome. I was like, I even like the way the ink smells coming off this off the press and stuff like that. I was like, she goes, yeah, that's a good feeling. That's a great high. And she was like pretty much saying that's a natural high that you should always feel about anything that you create. And the moment that you lose that excitement, that is the time when you gotta like decide, well, you know what, maybe I need to try something different. Not necessarily like abandon art, but maybe try something different in art. And that has been kind of like a driving force. It's like in me, it's like, hey, if you're not excited about what you're doing, it's kind of like that saying, if you love what you do, then you never work a day in your life, if that's your job. So I think if you just
on that note, here we go. Pencils down.
Oh,
the timer just went off.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Thank God. That was the longest 15 minutes. I regret that. I'll go first because I called it.
Okay, let me remove this.
I will go first while Dee gets his going.
Yeah, let me.
Here we go.
Oh,
Bizarre.
Bizarre kid, because he's just. I had to write in what I was actually trying to do. That is a spaceship right there. That folded up piece of trash right there is a spaceship. Luckily with Procreate, you can do perfect circles, so that helped. That's a moon. He looks like he's wearing a turtle shell. I don't know why he looks like he's wearing a turtle shell to me.
Cowabunga.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing a turtle shell and he has a headband on. And not
you know what? That's Dee. That looks like Dee's like his portrait shot. I think he was subconsciously influenced by Dee's portrait shot. It's like, hey,
and then it's supposed to be fire coming off of his back, but it looks like he's doing something completely different. So, yeah.
All right, we won't say that's behind him. If it's fire or if it's something else.
Here's Dee's.
All right,
let's bring up Dee's here.
Oh,
that's not fair.
I was like, you did this with your left hand?
Yeah.
What?
And you draw with your right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I had to. I mean, I do have kind of an ace up my sleeve though, because
what's that?
when I was a kid, I was ambidextrous.
Oh, now he tells us.
But I tried to channel that, but it was very tough. I kept like hitting the screen and having to read. But yeah, it's basically because I throw left-handed and everything because my dad's like, oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, look at this. It's all coming out. Vic thought that he was going to pull a fast one on you, but
this
is ready.
This is about as good as it gets. I don't think I could get much better with the left.
That is good. This could be a panel in your book already. I mean, it has that same look. You are just as proficient with your right, your left hand as you are your right hand. So very, very cool.
There's my
kids.
Those
are your kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the driving force behind Dee.
Yeah.
Too.
This is when they're younger.
That's the editor-in-chief right there.
Yeah, the editor-in-chief.
Exactly.
Right?
and future VP of operations.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm waiting for her to edit my stuff and be like, done.
Right, let's bring in. I'll bring in Sarah. Did one, Sarah's.
Oh, cool. Let me get out of it.
Wait, Sarah did that with her left hand too? That's crazy. I can see it.
Yeah. That's good. That's pretty good. That's
very
real
cool,
good, actually.
Sarah. Very cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Dee. Sarah is a big fan of all things that are Japanese. That includes anime, manga, but the culture itself. I mean, she's from Egypt, but she's learning Japanese. She's like been taking these like. So she is like more. She likes Japanese, but she also likes Disney. So her art style is kind of a fusion of those two. She's a very talented. Cool. Very talented individual. I guess.
And it's falling. Let's get to Jarrell's.
Oh no! All right. Hey, look how good my right hand looks. Oh wait, here's my left hand. No, I'm just kidding. All right, I kind of clocked out.
See?
I decided not to do a full body shot because I still had a really shaky line, but I was enough that I could kind of get something out of it. But he kind of has like a I want to say a Big Hero 6 vibe to him. But anyway,
see, what were you worried about? That looks good.
Yeah,
it was tough. I was really sweating here trying to get something in there, but it was fun. I'm gonna have to say that it's probably better than my last outing when I had to do a dexterity challenge.
Yeah, that one looks good.
Next time, Vic is gonna say,
mine looks like a dumpster fire. Like, let's delete that. Let's delete that right now.
I was telling you, it looks like Dee's portrait that he was, with the headband and stuff like that. That was a great homage that you were doing. All right, so let me we'll roll into our third drawing challenge. Let me unshare my art cam. Oops, remove, and let me get the next one that we're gonna do.
All right.
So share screen, window. Go back to here. All right. Okay, so we just did our dexterity challenge. We'll get a double dose of Kid Nebula, and I'm gonna have to go back through here and find. Is there a portrait of? We're gonna do Aura Ren, and this is not a full body shot.
I think you might be able to zoom in on the cover.
Yeah, on the cover. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So let me zoom in here. All right. So I was joking around with Dee during the pre-show, and she has like this Darth Maul like lightsaber thingy, and it's like red. I was like, man, is she like secretly like evil? She's like Sith or something like that. And I go, nah, she's not that way. But she's just really cool. It's a very cool weapon. Everybody, I mean, when I looked at it, I was just really blown away with just another really cool character design. So we're going to get into drawing this. We're going to reset the clock, 15 minutes for this. And Dee, you can tell us a little bit about her without spoiling anything. And let's go ahead and start doing our drawing. So I'm going to, Dee, do you feel comfortable? Do you want me to go back to your art cam, or do you want to like just surprise everybody? We'll leave this up on the screen.
Yeah, you can leave this up so people can
see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll leave this up here, and that'll like create more like excitement to see what Dee comes up with. And I don't even know if I can draw with my right hand anymore. I've been so traumatized drawing with my left. We're gonna try. All right. So Vic, you want to drop the first question on Dee here while we're drawing?
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was starting the clock. Oh, okay. All right. I turned it off.
Okay. I'll ask the first question then again.
Okay.
Why the double staff like lightsaber? Was it directly inspired by like Darth Maul, or was it just something that was it from something else?
Well, I'm sure there's probably like some subconscious influences there, but the main reason for this is just the versatility of the weapon. I thought so initially, so she can use it like this, or she can just do one end, or both, or whatever, and then she could also do like the kind of like on a timer. So if she like throws it at someone or whatever, so it's got some versatility to it, and it's it's definitely a nod to like that whole aspect of Star Wars that we all kind of grew up on and loved, just a variation of it, because it's not it's similar because it can do all that, but there's
differences.
Differences, yeah. And I just like and it's kind of cool looking too.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and that's always, it looks cool.
That's all you got to say. You didn't have to you said, hey, it looks cool. I'm the creator. It looks cool. That's the reason why.
Yeah, I always have fun on the designs. That's what I usually, that's where I started thinking, okay, I think I have a whole team here. When I started doing a lot of character designs, that I was thinking of different ones. I'm like, I think I have the whole team, and I started thinking of their backstory and stuff. That's kind of how it happened.
Mm-hmm. No, it seems like you get a lot of influence from Star Wars. What'd you think of the Book of Boba Fett?
I knew where this was going.
Am I getting set up here?
No, I don't know. Go ahead and say what you.
Here's the thing about this. We've been talking about this for a little while. because we do a show on Fridays called Friday Freestyle where we have people come on and we have topics that they can talk about. And it seems like it's been universally disliked. I mean, we've had maybe like one or two talking about it, in a positive way. But
man,
you're heavily influenced by Star Wars. I could tell by your artwork. I was just curious as to what you thought about it.
So it was. I think I was worried about it from the beginning about the expectations. Right, Boba Fett is like this iconic thing. So my expectations were low. But so at the beginning, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. But I was disappointed with. It seemed like they didn't know. They didn't really have a direction that they wanted to go with, or like the story, and that's the problem. So I thought they were just like, oh, it's Boba Fett, and it'll be enough. But it's it's not. Obviously, you need the story, and everyone was dying to get more info on him. And I think that's where they kind of dropped the ball. They just kind of said, well, it's Boba Fett. Everyone's going to want to see him, but and then it became like. It's kind of some of the best episodes were more Mandalorian focused.
You're so right. You basically said what we are all kind of our consensus type thing.
So that was kind of the problem I had with it. It's like they didn't know what to really do with it. And I thought they're going to make it edgier since he's a bounty hunter and talk about his stuff, but it seemed like, I don't know, they didn't know what to do with it.
I totally agree with you about that. And I thought I liked Boba Fett. He wasn't like my super favorite character, but part of the mystique of Boba Fett was that we didn't know that much about him. And the more that they revealed about him was like, especially one of the things that I like, why does he always take off his helmet? It's like taking off we went from the Mandalorian where he couldn't take off his helmet. So like, Boba Fett just taking off his helmet in the most inappropriate situations. Like he's like walking around, he could get sniped at any moment. And it's like, I'll take off my helmet.
Yeah.
So.
And then he'd take off his helmet and be like, you know what, guys, I need to go take a bath. I've been out of this helmet for far too long.
So it was definitely there was those first few episodes. Every time he's like, gonna go back to the bacta tank. That's what he was always going back and forth to.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, you're so heavily influenced by Star Wars. I don't know if you guys are like me, but like as I've gotten older, I don't know if I'm just looking for that same feeling that I got from Star Wars as a kid, and they're not capturing it. Anymore. That's what I want. Like, I remember seeing those original movies in the theater, with my uncle and just being like blown away. And I think my expectations sometimes are a little too high for it. That I want that same feeling, and it's not happening. Especially like with the new movies. The only new one besides Mandalorian was Rogue One that really captured that feeling. When I left the movie theater, I was like, oh man, that ending leads into A New Hope. Like it all went like seamlessly together. And I walked out of the movie just like, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. It's like we're just hoping, like to recapture that from when we were kids. But
then I get my nieces and nephews like, you're not a Star Wars fan. I was like, you're not old enough. You're not old enough for me to not hit you anymore.
But it's interesting though, because I've talked to the millennial generation. They're older now, and they grew up with the prequel trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they totally love. They think the original trilogy is really boring. It's like, and the case point is the lightsaber battles. We were talking about that too. The lightsaber battles, I have to say, much better in the prequels. But because the technology has changed too. But that whole line, it's like about, I hate sand. It gets into everything. It's like, or Anakin, you're breaking my heart. Those. It's like, as cheesy as campy as some of the original trilogy stuff was, it's like become part of our the lexicon or like things that we talk about. I mean, I can say that I'm a scruffy nerf herder and be very proud about that because that's Empire Strikes Back, man. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your like? What would you love? Your ultimate like dream of where you would want to see your characters? Movies, toys. Where would be like? Just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is actually happening.
Oh, I mean, being like from that era, toys would be amazing, right? Like having toys of your characters.
Yeah.
But like, because the way I make the comic is kind of like what you guys were saying, like the storyboarding type approach. I would definitely like to see. It'd be cool. It'd be like a dream, like a, way out there having like a dream of like, oh, it's so cool to see your characters out, like turn on Netflix or some streaming service and see your stuff.
Hey man, you're halfway. I mean, you started it. You got the ball rolling. You know, you got a successful Kickstarter. So why not think that you can actually do toys? Especially with the reality of like 3D printers and you know doing like one shot, or not one shot, like low run print production of like 3D printed toys. You could definitely do that, and those would just be prototypes because I think that once you got more stories under your belt. Who's to say maybe Netflix won't pick it up, and then we'll start seeing your stuff in Walmart. I was about ready to say Toys R Us, but unless you live in Canada, Toys R Us is no longer around, which is so sad.
I can't believe that.
I know, it's so sad.
Was Toys R Us still in Canada?
Yeah, it's amazing. And
I'm gonna make a trip to Canada.
I know. Got to get past the trucker embargo, that's going on there. But,
oh yeah, that's true.
It's so sad too. I mean, why would you? But we don't need to go there. Let's just say that we miss Toys R Us. Totally miss Toys R Us.
Who would be the first? If you had to choose, who would be the first characters in the line? Because when you come out with toys, you gotta leave. You gotta leave some for the second line. You gotta.
Right.
If you had to pick
the first.
Who would be? Yeah, exactly. Who would be your first wave?
Wow. Well, obviously Kid Nebula. Then I'd probably do Lilbot just because that would bring in a lot of, and he's manageable. He's not like this giant robot.
He's the baby Yoda or Grogu.
Yeah, he'd be kind of Grogu. And then just because I'd like to show the diversity of Aura Ren, probably those would be the three.
Yep.
But then, I know Series 2, people would just be like dying to get like, Kai Kilrath. I would. When I say people, it'd be like me. I'd be the one and Kaiju Commando and things like that, and then Giant Robot probably be like. I thought it'd be like in the old days where you collect enough of the proof of purchase type things you can send in and do like like some type of lottery. That'd be fun.
That's so true. I remember that because I think Star Wars was famous for doing that. There was like you could get accessory packs, or I think was it the Emperor? I can't remember. There were certain figures you could only mail away to get. I know with G.I. Joe, they had tons of those. They had the ones with like I think you could get the hooded Cobra Commander if you collected enough proofs of purchases to get.
Oh yeah, and you could get. I think when the cartoon came out, you could get like Serpentor or something like that.
Yeah, it was. You got to bring that back. I was saying build a figure, but the proofs of purchase is a nice thing too, because that would make people go out there and buy it just as well and mail away.
Yeah, they have to do that to get Giant Robot, and then when he shows up, he's you have to wheel him in like a 6-foot box.
Yeah, exactly. He comes in. He has he gets delivered, and it requires a one of those forklifts to bring him in. It's like, how many proofs of purchase did I need to get that?
Exactly.
So what other we were talking about Transformers and Star Wars. What other cartoons or and we talked about Hanna-Barbera as well. What other things that I guess influenced you or that you really liked?
Yeah, so like Hanna-Barbera was one of the first that got me into like drawing every weekend, like with all those characters and those. And then the first comic that really blew my mind was I like comics, but like casually. And then once I saw Secret Wars, I was just like,
nice.
That one just totally blew my mind. And it's like, and that's kind of where I have this whole ensemble. I have a lot of characters, and was probably influenced by that too. But I was just like, oh, it's amazing. Like seeing all these heroes together and villains. It's like pretty cool. That's what got me. And then I did one like the fan art things of like I did Batman. That one was always a big one I liked. And then the Shadow, that was my dad's favorite character.
Classic stuff.
So I drew him for him, and then also because I remember growing up, we get the old radio plays from the library, and we'd just sit there and listen to it. So you could relive his childhood.
Man, radio, listening to things instead of watching it too. Watching the old serials or listening to the old serials.
He would tell me about all these things that they just gather around the radio back in when he was young. So it was really cool.
Man, you definitely did your research in terms of like getting inspired by all these different things. I don't think kids today would even know who Flash Gordon is, or it's neat to see the Shadow. I mean, that's very classic pulp heroes.
Yeah, I love that. That stuff is really cool because I think it's like you kind of see. You can kind of get something, from almost everything. Like, you get, I'm like, oh, like even like the Phantom, the Shadow, all that stuff. There's something there that really caught the imagination of the people at the time and stuff, and how they still after all these years, people still, you still see all this stuff about the Shadow and the Phantom, like on Instagram and stuff. And I always dig.
Yeah.
You are so right about that. Yeah. How much time do we got?
We got 40 seconds.
40 seconds. Oh. All right, so I'm just gonna darken some lines real quick. Just like, okay. It's like I was like, should I be drawing with my left hand? I was like, because I've been doing it just wrong the whole time.
Oops. All right. And pencils down.
All right. Okay. All right. Let me remove this from the screen. Let's get. I think we lost D. D. You want to add your art cam back up there, and we'll show yours.
Yeah. Let me share. Yeah, it's kind of hard maneuvering this thing sometimes.
You're going to be a pro after this. You're going to be doing your own casts after this. You'll be like have all your.
He already did. He had a successful one. He was funded within 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm talking about his own drawing and interview show. It's like he's gonna put us to shame in terms of like stuff. All right, so can
we come on your show?
Yeah, we'll come on your show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. You guys are, your show is awesome. I really like it, like just the way it flows and everything. So compared to other shows I've seen. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
That's all Gerald. Gerald, this is Gerald's baby. I just sit back and
No, this is all about our guests. I'm saying is like, the show would be nothing without really good guests. And like, look at this. This is crazy. Can you zoom in? Let's. I know that you're putting in some details into her. Let's see the face there.
Yeah, I just started doing the basic thing, and then in the comic, you'll see more about her story of like the face markings and things like that. What it means. And all that. There's actually one of my another one of the scenes that my daughter kind of helped influence me with was with her weapon and stuff like that. So when I show this comic, like we'll have to talk again and see if you can recognize which ones I'm talking about. But
okay.
But it's funny, like some of the scenes, like with Green about the mace and all that, and then there's a couple scenes with Aura Ren that was directly influenced by her. So.
Oh, definitely. We'll have to, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and say it right here that D is gonna be our guest again later on when he's ready, and when issue 2 is ready to drop, and we'll continue the conversation. But I see that, is she gonna hold something in her other hand? I see this because I see the saber that's coming in there on her left hand. Is she holding another weapon or will she hold another? Okay.
Yep, that's the thing I had in time. So I was like, okay, looks like she has a mangled hand right now. But yeah, she's about to hold the weapon.
Well, I knew it was going to be another weapon. I was just curious what it was going to be. Maybe it's, maybe you can't reveal it right away, but I knew it wasn't a mangled hand. I knew it was something else that you just.
So so that is kind of like one of the surprise weapons she has.
Surprise.
So I don't want to. Yeah.
Got to buy the issue.
He can't say anything because his daughter's staring at him off screen.
No. She's like holding her square mace.
Yeah.
It's a square face mace, Dad. I'm holding it. Yeah. You better not reveal it. Yeah.
She might smash my laptop.
All right. Let's go to Vix. Let me go ahead and get Vic up here. Look at that.
Nice. Let me see here.
So good. So good.
Wow, cool.
It's like a Thundercats vibe.
Yeah.
So as I was trying, I was like, who's that character from the Thundercats?
Is it Chitara, or is it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I like Thundercats, but I wasn't as into Thundercats. I did appreciate it. I thought it was. I mean, who doesn't go around going Thundercats ho and have like an imaginary sword we could pull out of our forearm and go running around. But that looks great.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So Dee, how does it feel to have people fan arting your stuff?
Oh, seeing it live is like crazy. It's amazing.
Did anybody else?
We have Sarah again. Sarah was always coming through for us.
All right, go ahead and bring up Sarah's. Let me share mine up real quick. But yeah, go ahead and show Sarah's. And
let's see. Come on, pop up. Here we go. Let me show Sarah's real quick, Drew, before we get to yours. Yeah.
Oh, look at that!
Nice. That's cool.
I like how really awesome. She really leaned in to make her look a little bit more alien, a little bit, and in a good way. I'm just saying that it looks really cool. Sarah's just really talented. Love what she does.
So cool.
Yeah, she is. Good job, Sarah. As always.
Yeah. Okay, I got when you show mine, I got halfway through it, and then I realized I drew her way too old for. I made her look more like she's not Kid Nebula. She's older, so it's like this is Kid Nebula, and this is she just looks like if this was like the Marvel Comics version where they like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, that reminds me of like a Domino or it has that.
So I was like, oh, I already got too far down, so I need to take lessons on how to draw younger characters and stuff like that. So I think I did okay with Kid, but then I went here and I realized I was halfway through it and I go, oh, she's much older than she should be. But if you're gonna do like once you get through your first 100 issue story arc, and you do Kid Nebula when he's just known as Nebula. And Aura Ren is just known as Aura when they're older. It's like the next generation. It's going to be Kid Nebula, the second generation. And then you can talk to me, and I'll help you design the older characters. So,
cool.
So anyway, that's my embarrassing story. I was like drawing it, and I go, man, I screwed up, but I couldn't go any. I couldn't put that genie back in the bottle. I already went down that path. All right, so great. It was nice to see the magic happen, to see what Dee was doing, to hear his creative process, and just loving your story, hearing about what influenced you, what got you to where you're at right now, the wonderful tributes to your dad, how you're it's a family affair. You got your daughter that's helping you out with that. 10 years old, and she's like doing those Instagram, reels, just crazy. So, your IP, your intellectual property has feet. It's definitely going to go far. And Vic and I will be counting the days where we'll see an announcement, because now we like and follow you. I encourage all of our audience to do the same thing. I'm looking for the announcement when there's going to be a Netflix cartoon. Hasbro or Mattel is going to be like doing toys for you, and maybe there'll be a live action version of Kid Nebula. We'll have to do a show where we get some fan casting in terms of like what Dee would do in terms of who would play what part. So Kickstarter was funded in a whopping 10 freaking minutes. Can you count that? That's just a great story. It is not unfortunately available anymore, but I'm going to help or talk to Dee about maybe moving something over to an on-demand thing where you can put that on Indiegogo. But even if that doesn't happen, if you like and subscribe, those links that we see there at the bottom, you'll be the first to know when Dee announces it. Maybe it'll just show up as a a la carte item that on his web store that he sets up on web store. Isn't that a character from Masters of the Universe? Anyway, on his e-commerce site on his webpage, that shows you what a total nerd I am when it comes to like toys and Masters of the Universe and other stuff like that. But anyway, look for all of that. So that being said, let's talk about the future, Dee. What do you have planned next? Like aside from fulfillment for issue 1, I sort of like threw out all those ideas stuff like that in terms of what we're waiting to hear. But realistically, you said it was a 3-issue arc. Like, what comes after that? Are you thinking about maybe doing something else in the universe of Kid Nebula, or maybe continuing it on? What's the future?
Yeah, I mean, definitely after I finish the 3 issue arc, then I'll be doing probably some of the secondary characters, kind of going more into their backstory, because I know that people always ask me questions about Kaiju Commando or
Killrat.
Yeah, Kai Killrat. That one, and I'm actually looking forward to doing that one as well. So and what I've seen is like talking to some people, there may even be, depending on scheduling and all that, like to sit down with other creators that are kind of digging these characters and kind of telling them a little bit about the backstory, and then kind of seeing what they do with it, and having some guest artists as well. That's just kind of something I've been thinking about. Nothing definite yet, but I definitely like the participation, by the other awesome creators and bringing their own vibe and things to it, their energy. So I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm already friends with you on Facebook, but I'm not a big Twitter guy, but I will follow you there.
Yeah, me either. I just
that shows you I'm old too. It's like I really just got into Facebook like 5 years ago, and it was just to follow artists, like you, Dee, and Vic, and social media has definitely evolved. But like I said, on the bottom, like and follow Dee Hausner. Make sure that you be in the know, because there's going to be some big things that are going to happen. I can only see just positive things happening for you throughout 2022 and into the future. So thank you for being our guest. We're going to close it out pretty soon, but when we do this is part of the show that yes, there it is. Vic posted up there. That's how you can go to you can go there after the show. We don't want you to go right just yet, because this is the part of the show that we affectionately call the Oscar speech. And we give the mic back over to you, Dee. And you basically can give us your final thoughts, your thank yous, whatever you want. So
let me get my index cards.
Yeah, get your index cards.
Did I put them in the right order? No,
here you go.
No, I mean, first I just want to, it goes without saying, thank you guys for this opportunity, and it's been amazing. I love talking comics and Kid Nebula and all those cool things we grew up on. So I really appreciate the opportunity. You guys are awesome. I love what you guys are doing. So I mean, basically, if you are anything you saw here that you like, if you're more, definitely follow me on the socials and my website, and you get to hear more about this stuff. It's basically a really fun sci-fi adventure comic. So it's fast moving, and it's pretty much for all ages, as long as you don't mind. Some of the creatures might be a little scary, but yeah, it's fun. It's all in fun. So definitely check it out, and there's definitely more to come. Instagram, I do a lot of where I have those teaser reels like that I do with my daughter, like those promo things on Kid Nebula. That's a good place to catch that, or my website that I have linked to Instagram as well, so you can see the updates there. But yeah, I mean, I just thank you, and I really appreciate being able to talk about this. It's kind of surreal still talking about like something that you create, wow, people actually want to know about it, but it's a lot of this stuff has been in the works for years, but it really solidified this last year and a half. So definitely have a path forward for all these adventures. So if you like it, yeah, definitely. There's gonna be more news dropping pretty soon after the fulfillment happens to this comic. As they were mentioning about like where to get it if you missed out on the Kickstarter, and the plans for later this year. Some more adventures of Kid Nebula.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent. I'm going to have to give you the applause there. It's like, we really like you, Dee. We really, really like you. So it's awesome. We're going to be counting the days when you have that announcement ready to go, and the door is open for you to come back anytime. You just let us know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
In fact, we're probably going to talk to you a little bit later on about some things that we're doing coming up in March. I think Vic, Kid Nebula would be a great addition to our last indie character standing competition, or not really a competition. It's just it's a fun way to help promote our guests. So I'll be talking. Both of us will be talking to you a little bit later on, so we can continue to help promote, get eyes on your IP OCs, and
he doesn't need us. He's funded.
He doesn't. It's like 10 minutes. Just give him 10 minutes. He can fund his whole Kickstarter campaign. All right, so like we do with how we end all of our shows, we're going to do that again, and that's talking about this. So if you look at, there it is. Vic is on top of it. No, you're great. So it's become a tradition. This is a charity group that we partner with. We have no financial ties to them at all. We just love them and love what they do. The organization is called Golden Fight, and their charity is something that I like to say is big enough and small enough at the same time. Small enough in the sense that they are not like this big, nationwide corporation that's, they're very localized, like in my neck of the woods, the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. And where they're big, where they're huge, is what they do. They help families who have children that are dealing with very difficult diseases like cancer. When parents are focusing on helping heal their child, inevitably they will have financial difficulties, and that's where Golden Fight comes in. They raise the money, and when they raise the money, they can probably say 100% of whatever money that they raise goes to those families. I thought they would maybe have like a 2 or 3% that they would have to keep to like help deal with administrative things, but no, 100% of it, 100% goes to them, goes to those families. So they can, like I said, focus on the healing of their child. Great organization. Check them out. If you are thinking about a charity that you'd like to help support, read up on them. They are totally legit. We are trying to do some sort of promotion where we can help raise money for them. It's still in the works. We were trying to have it come out around Valentine's Day, but we've with everything, there's more planning that has to go into it. Stuff happens, and we are still planning on doing that. And once we get the green light on that, we'll give you more details on it. But we want to bring awareness to them. It's a great cause, and we're very happy to be friends with them and get some eyes on them as well. So let me remove that. And so check out one more time the scrolling ticker at the bottom. This is how you could follow Dee. Dee is the man. And we all know that his daughter is the brainchild behind the whole thing. She's really the
mastermind.
She's the mastermind. Dee just, is making it happen.
This is gonna be that clip when, like, in the future, when they're like the future director, and this is like where she was first seen. Like, hey, we were part of that.
Right. We were going to say Comics Cast was a little bit a part of that. So, but I have no doubt that's going to become reality. It's going to be really cool. So, thank you very much, Dee, for being a part of Comics Cast. Let it out. So, Vic, you want to get our bumper to take us out?
Already.
All right. So I'm just going to say we got a lot of things that are happening. A lot of things that we are juggling. We have a great guest that's coming out for next Let It Out. We're continuing to build shows. Vic, I don't know. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we have the magazine, the community.
We have so much stuff coming out.
Stuff. How about stuff that you're doing?
Where's my list? Yeah. Where's my list? No, I think this Wednesday we're going to be starting the first Wednesday warm up, where I'll be drawing in the morning. We'll be trying to get like some of you that are up earlier or up later, different time zones to tune in and watch us. It's going to be fun. It's just going to be quick drawing, showing how to warm up, showing how to do other little things. But it's going to be fun. And if anybody wants to come on, jump on and chat for 30 minutes, everybody's welcome.
Yeah. And we also have Friday Freestyle. You want to talk a little bit about that too? So,
Friday Freestyle is hard because I don't know what's going to happen this week.
That's true. That's why it's called Freestyle. Yeah. We could have Dee again showing up on Friday Freestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Dee, if you ever want to come on Friday Freestyle, you're always welcome.
Awesome.
Open door forum. Come on. You just draw along or you just chat. You just chat along.
Right. So it's an open studio.
I'm not a very good nerd, so I just sit there and I take stuff in, make my notes. That way, when I'm somewhere else, I could be like, "Did you know?"
And knowing is half the battle. Remember
that.
Yeah. So we got our Friday Freestyle thing, and of course we have Let It Out. We have a couple of produced things that we're going to be kind of like debuting because we really want to work that social media algorithm. And like we mentioned before, there is going to be that last indie character standing that we're going to try and push out during March Madness. I don't know if you guys are NCAA basketball fans, but we're going to do like some sort of, we're going to come up with a bracket and stuff like that. And it's going to be fun. It'll be nice. So stay tuned. We're going to figure out which one of these characters is going to be in that competition.
And also look in the comments, we posted again to his website. Go sign up for his newsletter so you'll get all the information right away. You won't be left waiting. You won't be on the dark like me and Jarrell. We can't bite.
Exactly. We're now diehard fans of Dee. So definitely cool. Alrighty, so stay tuned for all the cool things that Comics Cast is continuing to do in 2022, and we'll see you next week. Well, actually, we'll see you throughout the week. But
there you go. All right, everyone. We'll see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.